Welcome back to Disney Talk Tuesdays. I can't really tell you what happened, except that my stream just totally died on me. Not quite sure what happened. Could have been my fingers. But anyways, welcome back to Disney Talk Tuesday. Today we are talking about Frozen versus Tangled. So far we have been talking about songs category, in which everyone in the chat has been voting for their favorite movie that has the song category. Most people have voted for Frozen. It was a 6-2. Frozen won the song category. Moving on to the storyline category, which is where we are. We have 5 people who voted for Frozen and 2 people voting for Tangled, giving Frozen once again the lead here. I believe Stacey Rogers ended up voting for Frozen as well, so I'm gonna give 6 points to Frozen because that's how we do. Okay, Gabby is alive and well. Miguel is with him now, I believe. So with her. Let me pull up the chat so I can see everyone. Tangled is winning now. How's the baby? You have no proof otherwise. Tangled is winning. You're hilarious. Welcome in, Alyssa. Good to see you. Oh my gosh. Oh, what does this say? Oh, maybe you can sing Let It Go in one of the songs from Tangled and see which one helps Gabby go back to sleep. Okay, I can't think of the names of any of the songs from Tangled. That's hilarious, Stacey. Listen, guys, actually, Gabby goes to sleep to Let It Go. She loves the Let It Go song, so, I mean... Okay, as I said, gotta run. Count my votes, please. Tangled for all categories. So wrong, Jessica. So wrong. Awesome. Okay, moving on to the next category. We're going to talk about villains from each movie. So we are going to talk about which villain is better developed all around as a villain, but also which one is most evil. So which villain from which movie would you say is more evil, more villainous, and just a better developed character in general? So for this one, we have Hans versus Mother Gothel. Hard to say, honestly. I think what's interesting about both of these characters, like the manipulation level is high for both of them. I mean, it is insane how manipulative both villains have been in the movie, correct? But what I will give to Tangled is that I do believe that Mother Gothel was the more darker character and the darker villain when it comes to comparing these two movies. So for that, I do have a few points for Tangled. But, however, let me say that I believe that Frozen had the more shocking twist. I don't think any of us, or maybe some people did, but it was shocking to see that Hans, I saw Kylo Ren, got messed up in my head. Hans was the evil villain in this movie. You know, earlier today I saw Miguel say that, you know, Elsa is the villain. This is very arguable, but for the sake of this live stream, I'm talking about Hans. And I think I'm going to have to agree with y'all on this one. Steve, I see you already voted. I'm going to have to go Tangled. I think Tangled has the better villain. I would be more afraid of Mother Gothel than I am of Hans. So I'm going to go with Tangled for this one. For once, Tangled actually gets some points for me. So Tangled for me, Tangled for Steve. I think I saw AJC TV with Tangled. Awesome. What else we got? Does anyone else believe Mother Gothel genuinely loved Rapunzel? No. I don't know, Holly. That's a really good question. I really don't think she did. No, I really think she just loved, like, herself so much that she wanted this person around and loved her beauty to continue her beauty. Yes, she loved her beauty, exactly. That's what I think. But that's an interesting theory. I'd love to hear more on your thoughts about that. Loved her hair. I kind of expected Hans to be the bad guy. There was no other clear-cut person. Good point, Steve. Solid point. I was still shocked. Tangled for Alyssa. Awesome. He plays on Anna's innocence. Yes. So 1 point for Hans and Frozen and 1 point for Melissa. Yeah, Stacy, totally Emily, right? Like, he is such a jerk. I don't even know. Don't even know what to say about that one. So what I'm also gonna say is Elsa is the villain. Miguel, so you didn't hear me earlier. But for the sake of this stream, I'm going to say that Hans is the villain. We can debate later whether we think Elsa is the villain or not. But Steve's World says Elsa gave up her life for one of solidarity to protect Anna and the one she loved. She is a hero. Booyah. Wait, Elsa or you? Yes, I mean, he did make the perfect villain. Indeed. Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. Good thoughts on both ends. So yeah, for this category, Tangled takes it. They take the villain category. Seems like a lot of us agree that Mother Gothel is the worst villain. Holly, how do you feel? Let's see what we got. Only after becoming the evil within, Steve. Elsa was supposed to be the villain early on. They decided not to go with her as the villain. I appreciate that. I like the way that they changed the story around for her because I think it was a really good twist. Holly says, I don't know, I just feel like she could have tied Punzi up and thrown her in a cellar for her whole life instead of giving her a gorgeous tower full of books and games and musical instruments and whatnot. Then she makes her favorite hazelnut soup for dinner and goes on a long trip to buy her special paints. Interesting. Yeah, interesting thoughts, Holly. I totally see where you're coming from. I could see how you would think that perhaps Mother Gothel really did love Rapunzel. I think my perspective on it is that she is just creating the better story. Like, what is this child going to believe as she grows up more? You know, is she really going to believe that I'm her mom? I don't know. It's so tricky. I don't know. I just think it's so manipulative. And I think it's the manipulation level is to a degree that she doesn't even realize how manipulative she has been her whole life. So I don't know. It's crazy. I'm bullying Hans because I hate this his guts. That's awesome. So 2 for Frozen. We have 4 for Tangled. Absolutely great job. Okay, we are going to talk about next animation, and then we'll head over to supporting characters and end our night there. So for animation, think about the animation in both films. Which film do you think had the better animation when it comes to colors? Hey, Dope Dad, welcome back. I did leave you guys. I don't know what happened, honestly, but I came back. I don't know how the stream cut out. But anyway, so we're talking about animation now. So that's the 4th category that I have. Which had the better animation overall? The better like colors and everything, the scenery. What do you think? The lantern scene topped it all and wins for that alone, says Steve's World. So he's voting for Tangled. I see. Tangled just based on the lantern scene alone. Yeah, everyone's loving Tangled. Even Miguel went for Tangled this time. Great minds think alike. You guys are hilarious. Tangled, lanterns, enough said. Go with that. Tough one. I will go with Tangled, says AJC. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I think I'm gonna have to go to Tangled with this one too. Yeah, Tangled, such gorgeous colors. Frozen is kinda dreary compared. Yes, I totally agree with you guys on this one. Even a blind dog finds a bone. That's hilarious, Miguel. I'm gonna agree with you. I mean, when I've seen Tangled in the last week now, every time it is very colorful. It's beautiful animation. It's really good. I enjoy it. And you're right. Frozen has a lot of dreariness in it, and just because of the depth of all that's going on in the storyline of Frozen, you don't have as much color. So it's actually really cool when you think about it. A lot of Frozen is about the inner world and the struggle from within and finding herself outside of herself, where Tangled, like the storyline is all about like coming out and finding freedom and finding this beautiful world that's better than just this tower that she's been in. So it's just really interesting. Hey, welcome in, Laser Cat. Good to see you. We are about to head into our last category for the evening. So far, we have talked about songs, the storyline of each movie, villains, and animation. And it is a tie, dead hard tie. We have Frozen winning the songs category, and Frozen winning the storyline category. Tangled winning the villains category and the animation category. So here is our tiebreaker category, and I'm excited to get into this. It is the characters, the supporting characters in each film. Who has the better supporting characters? So let's review some of the characters that we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about Olaf from Frozen. We're going to talk about Sven. We're going to talk about Kristoff. We're going to talk about the trolls. And then in Tangled, you have Pascal, you have Maximus, you have Flynn Rider, you have the thieves, or whatever they're called, at the Snuggly Duckling. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. Let's talk about character development from each of them. Specifically, let's talk about Flynn Rider versus Kristoff. I think that there is a significant amount of character development going on with Flynn Rider in Tangled that is really intriguing to me, and I really enjoy how the story writers created that portion of it. As we see Tangled growing into who she is, we see her change Flynn Rider into who he originally was. Some of the best parts in that movie was when they were underwater trapped and they tell each other, who they are. Like, she's like, my hair can glow and do crazy powers, and he's like, my real name is Eugene. So it's just a really cool part, and I appreciate the character development of Flynn Rider in Tangled. Now, however, I appreciate the character development with Kristoff as well. Kristoff, is a very seclusive person, very withdrawn to himself, isolated, with no one around and not needing anyone but Sven, his reindeer. And then throughout the movie, as Anna comes into his life, this like bright fireball of a person and personality, like she draws him out, and you get to see who he really is and how he comes out to really help Anna in the end and ends up being the one true love. So I think there's good character development going on there as well. Let me see what's going on in the chat, and then I'll continue talking about some of my points before we finally do a final vote. So we have Tangled songs are so, yes, very beautiful, amazing villain song. Yes, okay, you are so deep. Tangled, no question, such an underrated movie. I'm just like, oh, look, a chameleon. Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. Okay. Tangled, Maximus and my boy Flynn. Olaf and Trolls, too strong, Frozen. Flynn was funnier and sings better. Flynn beats Kristoff for sure, but nobody beats Sven and Olaf. Sorry, Pascal and Max. Yes, I have to agree there, Holly. I like Sven and the Trolls plus Olaf. Flynn is probably a stronger character than Kristoff, but Olaf, come on, warm hugs. Yeah, I have to agree there, totally. Tangled supporting character versus Olaf. Olaf wins every single time. Agreed. I vote Flynn over Kristoff, Maximus over Sven, and Olaf over Pascal. Steve, I like the way that you're lining these up. I will agree that I would vote for Flynn over Kristoff. I would vote for Olaf over Pascal. And God, I really like Maximus. He is a great character. I mean, he really makes the movie. Sven isn't as strong of a character in Frozen. I mean, he's kind of a silly character that kind of comes along and comes with you. But Maximus is a core character, I think, in a supporting character in Tangled. Like, he's the one that's going off and trying to find Flynn Rider. So I'm going to have to think about this one. Hey, welcome in, Jesse. We are talking about supporting characters in both Tangled and Frozen to see who wins. Yes, I love the character development in Tangled. I disagree. I don't think Kristoff has that much character development. Compared to Flynn Rider, I don't think so. But in of himself, I believe that he does have some character development. You just don't see it as drastic as Flynn Rider or Elsa, for that matter. What else do we have? But Olaf tips the scale. Maximus and Tangled. Eugene is better. Hello all. Pascal has the second best name in Disney movies. Mother Knows Best is amazing. Also the fact that Rapunzel has to fight the woman who raised her. perfect, so perfect. Crazy to fight your own mom. So true. Great storyline. It looks like Laser Cat. It would have voted Tangled the whole time. I don't know that Olaf tips the scale on this one. If we're just strictly talking about Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven versus Maximus, Flynn Rider, and Pascal. I'm having a hard time deciding which one would win this. Olaf is a great character. Let's talk about how great of a character Olaf is to the movie versus Pascal. I feel like Pascal isn't that strong of a character. Also, we didn't even talk about the trolls and the thieves. The trolls are a pretty high character. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make Frozen win. But I think Tangled actually takes this category. Believe it or not, I've convinced myself at the end of this night. I thought for sure Frozen won. But as we're talking and thinking through these concepts and categories, I really do think that that Tangled may have the better supporting characters here. I'm shocked at myself. So I'm going to have to vote for Tangled on this one. I see Miguel's voting for Frozen. I saw a few Tangles out here. So let's do a final vote. Tangled or Frozen for supporting characters. And I think Tangled might win the night. I think I saw Steve's World with Tangled. Laser Cat with Tangled. AGC Magic TV goes with Frozen. The trolls add to the movie humor and love. Agreed. So a point for Frozen. But I will say that the thieves and the Snuggly Duckling really add some depth or some fun and humor in Tangled as well. What else we got? Are we still talking about the supporting characters? Sorry, I'm also watching This Is Us and I got distracted. Yes, Stacy, we're almost done with the supporting characters. We are now voting. So, Stacy, who will you vote for? Tangled or Frozen for better supporting characters? Holly, maybe she does a bit, but not enough to let her live her life. She mostly just cares about her hair, but I'd love to hear your evidence. Ah, yes. It's a good one. There's a few debates that have come out here from tonight that I would love to talk more about. Maybe we'll have Holly on to hear her argument as to why she thinks Mother Gothel actually loves Rapunzel. And then we'll have Miguel on to hear his argument on why he thinks that Elsa is the true villain of the story. So, I love it. Stacy has the right view. Frozen. Stacy. What's up, Haley Raven? Good to see you. We're just about to end here. I don't want to give anything away, but I agree with Holly. You agree with Holly? Regarding, wonder if would agree with my theory that Mother Gothel genuinely does care for love and Rapunzel. Really, Steve? That is interesting. We're going to have to talk about this some more, you guys. We're going to need a part 2, and we're going to actually have to have you guys on. I think that would be fun. Listen, so before we leave, this has been fun. I'll recap what we did tonight for you, Haley. But before we leave, let's go ahead and put in the chat, like, what 2 other movies would you guys like to compare? Because I think this is a lot of fun to do, just thinking through these movies. And if we know ahead of time, it would be kind of nice to be able to watch the movies before next week. So if you have 2 movies in mind, go ahead and put it in the chat of 2 movies we can compare. It could be Pixar, it could be classics, it could be more of a non-princess movie. Steve's World says Tarzan versus Jungle Book. That is an interesting one, Steve. That's very cool. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and tell me which 2 movies you'll like to compare, and we'll do that next week. And I'll let you know on Instagram and on Twitter which movies we'll be comparing next week, so you guys can watch it ahead of time if you would like. Or just come on and we'll talk about it. We've all seen these movies before. So, to recap the evening, 5 categories: songs, storyline, villains, characters, supporting characters, and animation. 2 movies, Frozen and Tangled. Frozen won songs. Frozen won the storyline. Tangled won villains. Tangled won animation. And Tangled took the win home and won the supporting characters. Tangled wins this evening. I am shocked. I was sure Frozen was going to win. I was going to convince you that Frozen should win, but y'all ended up convincing me that Tangled is the better movie. So it's interesting. So great job, you guys. Thanks for coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I really appreciate y'all. Again, check out The Whip Dad. He is awesome. Let's support him this month extra than we usually do. Watch his videos. Miguel is heartbroken. Oh, I'm sorry. I know, me too. I just don't even know what to do with it. Anyways, as I was saying, he's our promotion channel of the month, so check out The Whip Dad. He has awesome content. We love you guys. We appreciate all of you and your support. So we will see you real soon. Come out for trivia one more time on Sunday to see who will win and be on Jeopardy. Also, thank you, Stacey Rogers. Do not forget about Steve's World stream tomorrow evening. Steve, what time is it at? Is it 7? I can't remember. So come back tomorrow evening. We're going to Steve's channel. Check out his stream, and it should be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Have a great evening. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Steve's World. See you there tomorrow. And then trivia Sunday. Bye, guys. Have a great night. And remember, life is a prize. Win